Hello, Central New York. Welcome to Off the Record with your weekly highlights of Delaware County news from The Reporter, the county's finest news source. I'm Andrew Cantor with the latest of what's happened and happening in the county this week. Did you know that podcast listeners can try the online version of The Reporter for free for a whole month? Now you do. A month-long digital subscription is $5. But we've got a $5 promo code, so effectively you get the month for free, and then you can decide if you want to keep getting your local news or you want to remain ignorant and confused. All you do is subscribe at the Reporter website, and that's the-reporter.net. Then you use the promo code SAVE5, that's all caps, SAVE and the number 5, and you basically get the subscription free for a month. After that, we think you're going to want to continue to subscribe, and we hope you do. And now, here's a sampling of this week's Delaware County news. The Village of Delhi's trustees want to double their terms in office, and the mayor's, from 2 years to 4 years. The logic is that it takes at least 2 years just for the trustees to know what they're doing, in the words of Mayor Jeff Gearhart. And some village projects can take a long time, so a 4-year term would give them a chance to see these projects to completion. The trustees used something called a permissive referendum. That means they post this resolution publicly, and if anyone has an objection, they have 30 days to collect a bunch of signatures. And let's see, it's at least 10% of however many people in the village cast a vote for the governor in the last election. So it's a bunch of people. If they do get that many signatures opposing these new term limits, then the question goes on the ballot at the next village election. Delaware County's up and down geography is certainly pretty, but it's really not so great for getting a cell phone signal if you're in one of the valleys. For obvious reasons, cell companies put their antennas up high on mountains or where there's a bigger town or village to serve. Rural valleys, not so much. But New York State has a program that's looking at ways to expand cell service to the nooks and crannies that are getting left out. It's called Connect All, and it picked Delaware County as a place in need of better service. It wants to try using what are called microcells. They cover a smaller area than these larger towers, but they work great in places like Andes. Well, probably. Connect All is actually asking for federal funding to do a pilot study in Delaware County of this microcell technology. If it does work and it does get deployed, it won't bring cell service everywhere, but it'll make things a lot better than the current situation. It seems that the state's Department of Transportation has more rules about flying banners over Main Street than the trustees in the Village of Delhi were aware of. The trustees found out about this when the DOT wouldn't allow O'Connor Hospital, which is a nonprofit hospital, by the way, to hang a banner over Main Street, which is actually owned by the state. The DOT's problem was that the banner was a fundraising effort for the hospital, and that's a no-no because it is still a business. Now, this was confusing for the Delhi officials because the DOT has approved all sorts of other banners, so they had to go look at the regulations in detail. So it seems that banners advertising civic events are fine, and fundraising for charities is fine. But you can't advertise commercial activity even if it's run by a not-for-profit like O'Connor Hospital. Now that they know the rules, the officials have to go back and figure out how it's going to affect all the banners that the village hangs during the year. This winter is looking like it's going to have a weak La Niña. And what does that mean? This is weird. A strong La Niña would mean less snowfall for us in central New York. But a weak La Niña means not enough warm air comes through, so we get a lot of heavy snowstorms. And that is why Sidney Mayor Ray Baker is getting the word out now. Property owners are responsible for keeping their sidewalks clear after it snows. And this means you, Delaware County. Since the flood of 2011, the county owns more than 100 properties in the village of Sidney, and last year, even though there wasn't a lot of snow, the county didn't bother clearing off the sidewalks it was required to. Baker doesn't want that to happen again, especially if the forecasts are right and we get pounded by snowstorms, so he and village officials are being proactive. The Department of Public Works will be ready to take on the roads, and Code Enforcement Officer Jamie Cole is ready to deal with scofflaws. The rules are pretty simple. Property owners have about 10 hours after snowfall to clear their sidewalks. If they don't, they first get a written notice, And then after 12 hours, the village will clear the sidewalk and bill the owner. And that includes the county. And the bill ain't cheap. It's whatever it costs the village, the number of hours it takes and the salary of whoever clears it, plus a 50% fee on top of that. Now, Baker is meeting with county officials ahead of time to try to avoid a problem. Last year, the county wanted the village to do the work, but Baker said Sidney really can't afford it. So the village and the county, they're going to have to work out something before anyone sends anyone a big bill. Thanks to a $20,000 donation from O'Connor Hospital and more than $8,000 from Bassett, Delaware County's Office of the Aging is able to deliver fresh, locally grown vegetables to seniors every week. And this is like a totally great program. You got fresh fruit and veg that are really important for good health. Everyone knows that. But a lot of seniors can't get out to buy them, at least not often enough that they stay fresh. And let's be honest, this is America, so they might not be able to afford a lot of fresh food. So this county program, which is called it's either SNAP Ed box distribution or SNAPPed box distribution. It delivers a box of veggies from Schoharie Valley Farms. And we're talking sweet corn, tomatoes, carrots, potatoes, whatever's in season. And it goes to about 167 seniors. And we really have to give a shout out to Schoharie Valley Farms. Ethan Ball, who owns the farm with his wife Mary, he drives 6 hours around the county to deliver these vegetable boxes every week. You can read more of this story, including the plans to hopefully expand the program, in this week's Reporter. In fact, there's a lot more Delaware County news in this week's edition of the Reporter. You can read about the lead pipes discovered in the Delhi water system, and check out why New York City won't be buying any more land in Delaware County. And then there's the question of why towns and villages in the county are pretty much not enforcing short-term rental regulations. And that's just for starters. Remember, to get all the news that matters to you and your Delaware County community, subscribe to The Reporter at the-reporter.net or call 607-464-4009. We'll see you next week.